This video is sponsored by PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. Hey guys, in today's video, we're actually showcasing this Metang from the Temporal Forces expansion set. What makes this card great is because of its ability, Metal Maker. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 4 cards of your deck and attach any number of basic Metal Energy cards you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. This is sort of like a weaker version of Magnezone's Giga Magnet ability, because that one allows you to look at the top 6 cards of your deck. However, Magnezone is a stage 2 and Metang is a stage 1, so this one actually has an easier setup, which makes it a lot better than Magnezone in a certain point of view. So with this ability, you can stack those metal energies to your Pokemon to help them start attacking. And since Metang only lets you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, we have 15 basic metal energies in this deck, so that at least we can increase the probability of finding a metal energy when we use Metang's ability. And to pair with our Metang, we are using none other than Origin Form Dialga VSTAR as our main attacker. And I think this card is such a broken card because of its V-Star power attack, Star Chronos. For 4 metal and 1 colorless energy, this attack deals 220 damage. However, you take another full turn after using this attack. And of course, its attack, Metal Blast, starting with 1 colorless energy, deals 40 base damage. However, it also deals 40 more damage for each metal energy attached to this Pokemon. So, with enough energies attached to Dialga V-Star, you can actually one-hit knock out any Pokemon in the game. Late game, however, if your opponent does take out Origin Form Dialga V-Star, you will be losing a lot of energies. Which is why we're also using his Basculegion more for his upstream spreads attack. For 0 energy, this attack does 20 damage for each basic energy card in your discard pile, then shuffle those cards into your deck. So, when you lose a lot of basic metal energies during your game, late game you can use this to attack for a lot of damage. It is worth noting that its basic stage, Hisuian Basculin, is really great thanks to its Gather the Crew attack. For 0 energy, you can search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them straight to your bench. Really great for setting up your basic Pokemon early on in the game. Additionally, I did put a 1/1 line of Sizer more for its Punishing Scissors attack. For a single metal energy, it deals 10 plus damage, and this attack does 50 more damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play that has an ability. So if you go against any matchups that are heavy on abilities on their board, you can use this attack and easily dish out anywhere from 60 to 310 damage. As for the other cards worth noting, also new to the Temporal Forces expansion set is the new Stadium Full Metal Lab. Metal Pokemon, both yours and your opponent, take 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So with this Stadium in play to increase our defense, your opponent actually has to dish out 310 damage to one-hit knock out our Dialga V-Star. I'm using Prime Catcher as my A-Spec card. You can only have 1 A-Spec card in your deck. You switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot, and if you do, switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. And finally, we also have Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. This is actually a great way to guarantee at least 2 metal energies when you use Metang's Metal Maker ability. You search your deck for 2 cards, you shuffle the other cards of your deck, then put the 2 cards you chose on top of your deck in any order. Overall, I think Metang is a very powerful supporter Pokemon, increasing the viability of a lot of metal Pokemon cards in the format right now. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Metang with Dialga V-Star. Alright, on to our first match. We will be starting with Hisuian Basculin in the active spot, and we have Beldum on our bench. Very nice start for us. We can start building up our basic Pokemon, although we can't attack on our first turn. But we're going against the future box or future type build, which is pretty dangerous because they can actually attack on their first turn going second. So to protect our Basculin, I think I'm just going to sacrifice these 2 so that I can use Ultra Ball. And what I'm going to do is set up my Dialga V and then retreat my Basculin. And then I'm going to use Full Metal Lab. That's going to increase our defense a little bit so that we're not going to be too afraid of taking a little bit of damage from my opponent with our Dialga V. So the reason for this is because if my opponent is able to set up their Iron Hands EX in their first turn, they can take multiple prizes against our Basculin, which is very easy to knock out. And there it is, the Iron Hands EX is out in play. They are energizing their Miraidon. And with Nest Ball, they have Iron Crown EX with the ability to increase their future type Pokemon's damage by 20 for each of those Iron Crown EX in play. There goes another one, and another Iron Hands EX. But my opponent has boss's orders. They had everything they needed that turn and were still able to knock out our Hisuian Basculin with their Miraidon. Miraidon's attack is very powerful. For just a single colorless energy, it deals 40 damage. But Iron Crown EX increases its attack, and it also energizes their future Pokemon. So with 2 energies on Iron Hands EX, we are in a little bit of a dangerous situation here. Although they only have 1 card in their hand from that prize, so hopefully it's nothing that's gonna help them out on their next turn. For us though, we're just going to use Irida. This is the only thing that's available for us, and I think I will just use Prime Catcher. That way I can switch my Hisuian Basculin and use its attack, and I'll just switch out this Iron Hands EX. And we can use our Gather the Crew so that we can establish 2 more basic Pokemon on our bench. And Mew EX is really great, that way we can continue to draw despite only having 1 card left in our hand. Hopefully my opponent cannot retreat their Iron Hands EX here, otherwise we're pretty much dead. Alright, they're just gonna attach an energy to Iron Hands EX and end their turn. Alright, so we survive another turn. We got Pokegear 3.0, which is awesome. See what we get here. We got Professor's Research, very nice. I will take that. That's gonna allow us to draw a lot more cards this turn. Very good. We have Dialga VSTAR evolution, which is really nice. It's gonna make it a lot harder for our opponent to knock it out. And we need to set up our Metang as soon as possible here. Let's see. If I accelerate energies though, I don't know if I can energize my Basculin and start attacking this turn. But go ahead and sacrifice those 2, get a Metang, evolve that, and then see how much energy we can get out of this Metal Maker. We got 3, that's awesome. So got 3 on our Dialga VSTAR and another energy here. And then I'll use Super Rod to... Actually, my opponent might just knock out my Basculin, so I'll just recover this one. That way we have a basic Pokemon to evolve into Basculegion later on in the game. And I'll just gather the crew. Hopefully my opponent still cannot get this Iron Hands EX out of the active. And I'll just set up a Scyther so that we can evolve it into Scizor. With enough Pokemon in my opponent's field with abilities, we might be able to deal a lot of damage for a single Metal Energy using Scizor's attack. But my opponent was able to get an Arven. That's gonna help them get Future Booster Energy Capsule, and that's gonna give their Iron Hands EX in the active free retreats, and they can actually start attacking again once they switch into one of their attackers. So with that, they switch out and into Miraidon and take another knockout against our Basculin. Thankfully, they're only taking 1 prize with this one. But now their Iron Hands EX is fully energized. They can attack with the 1. And that baton is going to help them spread those energies to their other attackers. For now, I will just pivot into Mew EX. We can retreat it for free. And we got Professor's Research. Awesome. Let me put this final energy. We can actually use its V-Star attack now and take 2 turns if we need to. Metal Maker will get us 1 basic energy. I'll just energize my Scizor. And then let's see what can we get with this restart. Another energy. Unfortunately, that's what we got. But we got Professor's Research to get us more cards. I could set up another Dialga V. It's always good to have a backup attacker. Let's see here. I'll just put it into play, I think. And then we can retreat into our Dialga V-Star because Sizer can't really take a knockout against this Miraidon because they only have 2 Pokemon with abilities, so we're only hitting for 100 damage. So for now, I'll just use Metal Blast, take a knockout against this Miraidon. Their Iron Hands EX is not taking a knockout anyways, so we should be safe. And that's gonna get us our first prize here, another Buddy Poffin. And they're gonna switch into their Iron Hands EX, which is ideal because it can just retreat for free, but it can also attack now. Not that they have 3 energies on it. Can deal 160 plus 40, 200. But they have Prime Catcher and they will target my Mew EX. And can they deal enough damage? 120, 40, 116. Alright, 200 damage. But at least they're not taking multiple prizes with that one, or an extra prize, I should say. But they are one step closer to winning this game. All they have to do is knock out my Dialga V and win this game. So with 2 prizes left, we can actually use Iono and disrupt their hand without any Pokemon to help them draw. We might be able to disrupt them a little bit here, slow them down. Can we take a knockout against this Iron Hands EX? Yes, we can. 240 with 5 energies on our Dialga V-Star, and we'll just take a knockout here. The only thing is if my opponent has access to a boss's orders 160, 200, and they need another Iron Crown EX or a future booster energy capsule to increase. Oh no, they do already have one in it. So if they just have access to 1 more Iron Crown EX, they can just knock out my Dialga V in the bench. But they used Professor's Research, which means they don't have a boss orders. So that means our Dialga V in the bench should be safe, and they shouldn't be able to knock out my Dialga V-Star in our active. So that's the name of the game. They will be using this future bracelet thing to get another Iron Hands, a Miraidon. We should be safe for another turn. And I'm thinking, because we have boss orders, we could just take 2 knockouts next turn using Star Chrono's V-Star Power Attack, and that should win us the game. We have 1 to deal 220, and then with enough energy stacked to our Dialga V-Star, we can take a knockout again. And we can even take out this Miraidon. But you know what? That's we're gonna win this game with style. So even though my opponent was ahead in the prize exchange or in the prize race, we will still take the win here. So with boss orders, we're gonna target this Iron Crown EX, use Star Chronos to deal 220 damage, giving us another turn afterwards. So we get 2 prizes here. Awesome. And finally, we can just take a knockout on whatever Pokemon they put in the active spot. So Metal Blast for 280 damage, and that should get us our last prize. Wow, awesome comeback. Very good game. Alright, on to our next match. This time, my opponent will be going first. We're going to start this with a Mew EX in the active spot. And thankfully, we have Buddy Poffin to help us get more basic Pokemon set up on our bench. Ooh, we're going against Gouging Fire. Ancient type Pokemon. Interesting. We are actually at a disadvantage here because my opponent will be hitting for weakness against our Dialga V-Star. But thankfully, they need a lot of energies to attack for a lot of damage. For now, I will just set up Beldum, and he's using Basculegion. I can freely retreat my Mew EX, and then I can use Gather the Crew to put more basic Pokemon on my bench. I'm just gonna slowly energize my Mew EX. I think we can use it to attack actually. So with Gather the Crew, I'll just get another Beldum and Origin Form Dialga V on my bench. And hopefully we can use the V-Star Power Attack to take double turns. But with that, my opponent will play Magma Basin. So Gouging Fire has an attack that deals 260 damage. We can actually use Mu EX to copy its attack and knock out Gouging Fire. And thankfully my opponent used Iono against us, and that actually helped our hand improve a little bit. Just really nice. They got another Gouging Fire on their bench. And with 2 energies, they can attack for 60. Heat Blast will knock out our Hisuian Basculegion. And what we're going to do is just pivot into Mu EX. We have Metang in our hand, so we can definitely use that to energize our Mu EX. And then I can use Buddy Buddy Poffin to see what we can set up here. Scyther and Squovit. And I guess I could use Ultra Ball. Let's use Battle Maker first. 1 energy. Let's put it on Mu EX. And then let me just use Ultra Ball. I only have 1 copy of Scyther, so I'll just sacrifice the Dialga VSTAR, I think, for now. I don't think we can use it to our advantage just yet, because we're just lacking in energy attachment right now. We're just gonna replace their Magma Basin with our full Metal Lab. Use Squovit's Nestash. Alright, we got Dialga VSTAR. And then we're gonna use Restart to draw 3. Arida, alright, Boss's Orders. I don't think these will be useful right now. Let's use Metal Maker again. We need 1 more energy. Alright, we got 3. Very nice. So I'll attach 1 to Mu EX and 2 to our Dialga VSTAR. And what I'm going to do here is just use Genome Hacking to copy my opponent's attack. And we're going to use Blaze Blitz for 260 damage. Thankfully, it deals more damage. And the HP of Gouging Fire is only 230. Giving us a sure knockout there. And 2 prizes. Very nice. So we can just do the same to this Gouging Fire. In my opponent's active, just knock it out. And get another 2 prizes. But they will set up NTV Fleet-Footed to draw 1 card from their top deck. And fortunately for us, they cannot really attack with this NTV just yet. With Professor Sada, they accelerate 1 energy to their Gouging Fire, but not enough to use it to attack. Fortunately for us, my opponent has been having a hard time energizing their attackers. They put 1 energy to their NTV and just pass. Alright. Got Prime Catcher. Very nice. We can actually use that to attack with Mu EX again. 3 more energies with this Metal Maker. We can even use the VSTAR attack of Dialga. That's insane. But can we use it to our advantage? We really can't knock out anything with a single hit with the Star Chronos attack from Dialga VSTAR. So what I'm going to do is just take advantage of this Genome Hacking and copy their Gouging Fire's attack again and knocking out their Gouging Fire EX for another 2 prizes. Very nice. But let's see. This Pokemon can't use Blaze Blitz again until it leaves the active spot. Didn't we copy Gouging Fire's attack last turn though? So that means that effect of the attack should have been effective on Mu EX, right? And since we didn't switch it out, we shouldn't have been able to use that attack again. Oh, well, you know what? Technically though, we are using Genome Hacking. We're not using the attack of, we're just copying it. We're really just using Genome Hacking, so it does kind of override that. All right, very interesting. I learned something new. So I wouldn't technically call it a glitch, but I would accept that as legal. But my opponent was able to boss my Dialga VSTAR. Unfortunately, it is weak against fire, and NTV takes a knockout. And this is going to be very, very difficult situation for us. Because New EX depends on... So if we copy NTV's attack, it really depends on how many Pokemon both player has on their bench, and we're not taking a knockout against their NTV. But they can knock out our Mew EX, so that's going to be very dangerous. So one of the other options we have here is to copy their other Pokemon's attack, but none of them are taking knockouts either. Concentrated fire depends on how many fire energies are attached to you, so since we don't have any fire energies, it's practically a useless attack for us. Yeah, there's really no way for us to get around this. Dialga VSTAR was gonna be our winning attack, but for now I'm just gonna use Iono to disrupt my opponent's hand a little bit. We can use Sizer to attack. I mean, they have two Pokemon with abilities on them. Let's see if we can get a Metal Energy here. Alright, we got one to power up our Sizer. At least we can deal 110 damage. Alright, we got Pokegear. Don't really need to power up anything else. So I'll just use Punishing Scissors to deal 110 damage against their NTV. I mean, we only need 2 prizes left. My opponent has a few options here. They can knock out my Mew EX, get 2 prizes for that, but they still need 1 more. But the next turn, we can use Hisuian Basculegion to knock out NTV, get 2 prizes for that, and win this game. Or we could target that Gouging Fire EX with Mew EX again. We could do that. Boss's orders. Ah, they're gonna target my Mew EX though. So with that, 150. Well, we can actually win against this NTV using Sizer. Because now they have 3 Pokemon with abilities on them, so we can deal 160, knocking out this NTV. But for the sake of showcase, I think I will just use Hisuian Basculegion, because we can get the evolution using Irida and Prime Catcher. We don't even need Prime Catcher, although we can. But we're just gonna finish this one. We can use Upstream Spirits and deal 320 damage. And we'll just take a knockout against this NTV, getting us our last 2 prizes, shuffling all those energies back to the deck, and winning us the game. Alright, very good game. And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.